All right, so this is the first episode of Mike's Total Dragon YouTube channel. My name is Mike, and this is my first channel, my first video, brand new type of thing I'm doing. Before we get started, I'll tell you a little bit about it. It's basically a channel devoted to, and videos devoted to, sorry, when the dogs sound like they were sick, as they do. Erik Larson, his book, The Savage Dragon, and family-related titles, Freak Force, various miniseries that came out, Super Patriot miniseries, some of the other tie-ins, Mars Attacks, you name it, and it's going to be covered here. So before we get started, I think I'll tell you a little bit about myself and how this whole situation came about. Longtime comic book fan. I remember initially when Erik Larson left Spider-Man. I was a big fan of his on Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man, and then he went to Spider-Man after McFarlane left, and then everybody left, and they went to make Image. Him, Todd McFarlane, Rob Liefeld, Jim Lee, everybody else. And his first book was Savage Dragon. And I remember reading it initially when it came out, the miniseries and the ongoing, the tie-ins. Read it for a while, then kind of got out of it, as we do, comic book fans. Jump on, jump off, it's nature. So time goes by, and probably, I got on Twitter probably about 8 or 10 years ago, and his was one of the accounts that I followed. And so he's on the account and he's tweeting and I'm following him and he's talking about Dragon, and I'm like, man, that book is still going on. So then I think, who is reading this? I don't know anybody that's reading Dragon. Nobody at my comic book shop is reading Dragon. Nobody at any shop that I go to. You know, I'm not seeing copies on the shelf like you see copies of other books. But yet this man is still putting his book out. Month in, roughly, quotation marks, month out, quotation marks. He's still doing it. And I find out that the book now, at the point where I finally found out, is his son, is now the character. The original Dragon is no longer in the book anymore. Everybody has aged in real time, or roughly comic book real time anyway. And Larson's still banging it out. And I was thinking to myself, man, you know, this really proves to me that this guy just loves comic books. He just loves comic books and loves making comic books. No video games, no cartoons anymore. I think the experience with that old Savage Dragon cartoon that was on USA probably soured him. No movies, no video games, no tie-ins. He's like, look, I love comic books. I'm going to make comic books. That's what I want to do. So I got to thinking, I said, man, you know, how great is that? I bet this would be a fun binge read. If I could just get the books and then just go from one to catch up, you know. And I thought to myself, well, con season's coming around the corner, so why don't I do a run? That's what me and a buddy of mine call it. Do a run. Grab all the Savage Dragon books and read them sequentially. One to whatever we're at now. Well, con season did not come around this year. Corona had other, what's the word I'm looking for here? Plans for everybody. And so no cons this year. So much for that plan. And then Corona also had other plans for me. Stuck me on a 6-week layoff from work, furlough. So now I'm sitting at the house, 6 weeks, furloughed, no work. And I'm thinking to myself, you know, I'll just look on eBay. Hop on eBay, find a couple of big lots with huge runs in between it. The original miniseries. One of the lots I found was basically all the tie-ins, Freak Force, miniseries, Super Patriot, issue 1 to like 120 something straight in a row, or maybe missing 1 or 2. So I said, you know what, the hell with it. I'm going in. Pulled the trigger on that. Pulled the trigger on another lot that basically covered about 70 or 80 issues. And I thought to myself, you know, all right, I got a pretty good base right here. So now I'm going to start reading Dragon. And then I also got to thinking a couple nights ago, you know what else would be really cool? If I read each one of them and made like a review of it or a follow along, you know, and put it up on YouTube for some strange reason. I don't know why I chose to do a YouTube, because I frequently said that's, you know, the last thing this world needs is another podcast. So I guess that's maybe why I did YouTube. Not that there's really much difference, I guess. I'm so low budget and, you know, not like I'm going to make any waves. I just figured it'd be something to do just for the hell of it. So here we are. Me, my phone, and a butt ton of Savage Dragon comic books. So that's a little bit about it, what we're going to do. We're going to try to do one book or one review or whatever every day, every other couple of days or whatever, you know. We'll see how it goes. So anyway, here we are, and I figured might as well jump right on in. Let's do it. So let me clear this right here. This guy. So we'll go ahead and start right now with the first miniseries. The first miniseries is a 3-issue miniseries that he goes and brings up the dragon, introduces him into basically the Image universe and everything that's going on, and kind of gives what the status quo is going to be for the book. Now, plot twist, what he did after this original miniseries went on and the ongoing was going on for a while, is he released a 5-issue miniseries, 99 cents each. It was called The Dragon. Now, nowadays, we would refer to this as, this is the director's cut. Okay, but back then it was just another miniseries that came out. The story behind that is he had a bunch of other stuff that he wanted to add, basically like chapter 0 stuff, 0 issue, half issue, whatever you want to call it, material that was not in the original 3-issue miniseries, and he was going to debut that stuff and some of the other Image books that were going to come out, Image 0, some other stuff, his name I can't remember right now. But anyway, the big deal with that was Image guys were so late on doing their stuff, surprise, surprise, that finally he just said, you know what, to hell with it. So he decided to go ahead and incorporate the stuff that he had planned into a new 5-issue miniseries, and tell the Dragon's original storyline chronologically with the stuff from the original 3-issue miniseries and the stuff he created that was going to be that filler material that never got released, or not in the order that he wanted to anyway, and that's his right because it's his book. And he's super cool about it. So what we're going to do is, instead of going through the original 3 issues, we're going to start with The Dragon #1. So here we go. Bear with me. This is going to be a work in progress, and let's do it. All right. That didn't work out well. So here we go. First up, we're going to have